So, Matty, another game this weekend back at home after a tough game last weekend. Now that you've had a couple of days to digest, I know you didn't train last night. What was your overall feeling after you came away from Malton on Saturday night?
Yeah, we were probably a little bit disappointed just in the way that we kind of played, and we didn't kind of, as what we said on kind of Saturday, we just didn't react to the weather conditions. We played the first kind of 15 minutes the way that we wanted to play rugby, and we got ourselves in front. And then unfortunately just played into Malton's hands. But full credit to Malton when the kind of weather conditions did. They tucked the ball, kept it tight, and they scored a couple of good kind of tight kind of tries with their by their forwards, and we probably just kind of tried to play a little bit too much with the ball, and we turned over too much and got punished for it.
Yeah, two of their tries might come in the first half in which their scrum picked up momentum. Now, I know you don't want to talk about the conditions too much, but how hard is it for your pack when they're struggling to get any grip on the pitch, they're slipping away? Once Malton picked up momentum, it was pretty much inevitable, wasn't it, in that first half?
Yeah, we spoke about it at halftime. The lads were moving their feet too much in those kind of adverse conditions. As soon as you start moving your feet and shuffling them either forwards or backwards, you're going to lose momentum. So we spoke about actually kind of like trying to drop on our knees and digging in. And I think the second half, the lads kind of really kind of shone. And obviously, we've got a couple of kind of guys that are in there and still kind of learning the trade as well, and a couple of young lads. And we're up against a couple of old heads who have been around the block a few times. And so our guys will learn from the occasion. And we'll definitely get better for it. As we said to them, like, that's how you learn. You don't learn those kind of things on a scrum machine. You learn those learn those kind of dark arts and in and amongst kind of the teams that we play against, the people you play against, and the conditions you play on. So the guys, as you said, the guys will be better for it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're involved in such a tough game, especially at the Gannock, where it's quite a tight place to play, and there's a lot of vocal noise coming from both sides. I guess that disappointment that the players will feel is something that can inspire them for next season. That when we go back to Malton, they don't want to feel the same as they did once they were walking off the pitch on Saturday.
Yeah, it's any kind of local derby. You always want to win your kind of derbies, and we know that obviously we did the one over them here at our place, and the chance to kind of do the double over them would have been fantastic. But in saying that, you still got to come up and you've got to show up and you've got to be willing to play. And I thought our whole kind of entrance and our whole start to the game, lads showing up, a few guys were late, and the warm-up was a little bit kind of lackluster, and obviously that kind of flows into the game kind of situation as well. And we spoke about that last Thursday night, the way that we're training, which we're training around about kind of 40-50% at the moment, and we're not kind of actually kind of like training to play. So we need to change up a few things, and I think maybe the kind of the 5 on the bounce probably gave the guys a little bit of a relaxed kind of attitude, and now we've had a little bit of a wake-up call. We can get back to where we kind of want to be at as a team and keep pushing and striving ourselves to be better each week.
Saturday sees Durham City make the journey south down to us from Durham. Of course, Matt, you'll remember exactly what happened when we went to their place. Aaron Wilson scoring in the last seconds of the game, the last play. You were on the pitch at that time, Matty. Durham City picked up a win against Pocklington last weekend at their spot, so a really good win for them. They've only won 4 games this season. They've won 2 of those 4 games in the last 4 weeks, so they are in a little bit of form. It's going to be another tough game for your side.
Yeah, exactly. They pushed us right to the limits at their place. They've got a good big pack with a big kind of back line, and they like to kind of move the ball, and they look to use it or counter it as much as what they kind of can. They showed that obviously at their spot, and they won't be coming here just to give us kind of any kind of points. As any team is when they come to Scarborough, they're looking to obviously do one over the top of us, and we'll make sure that we're ready. We've learned from our kind of mistakes up at Durham City, and we rectify them and put them to good use come Saturday.
Yeah, just running through the lineup, Matty, there'll be a couple of names that people don't know on Saturday. Joe Nellis, Jordan Holloway, and Sam Dawson. Sam Dawson returns to the pack. Will Renard is accompanied by Will Vasey, who's a product of our youth system. So he's making his first 15 debut. Ewan Govier, Drew Govier, Dylan Robinson returns to 8. It's Alex Rowley at 9, Tom Radcliffe at 10. He's a 50-50 at the moment. Tom Anderson on the wing alongside Harry Demet, who returns. Tom Makin, Joe Marshall in the centre, and Pat Roberts returns at fullback. Tom Reed and Phil Watson are on the bench alongside another lad who's making his first 15 debut from our youth system. That's Dan Boys. Matty, a real mixture again of experience and youth, and that's exciting for everyone to see.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, myself and Reddy have been speaking about it for a couple of weeks, and we've been speaking to the lads and following their progress down at the Vikings. We've watched them play a couple of Colts games, and they've really impressed us, whether it be kind of training or whether it be kind of just the enthusiasm that they kind of bring and what they kind of bring in at training. The lads are kind of buzzing off it. They're looking to kind of learn each kind of week, and they're asking the right kind of questions. So we think it's kind of a great time to give these guys a bit of a run out, as it's well deserved, and obviously to give the lads who are kind of carrying niggles or are away on kind of holiday and things that kind of rest, so that we can refresh her up for the back end of the season. So we're really looking forward to it. I know that Will and Dan are really looking forward to it as well. So it'll be great to see them and obviously have their kind of families up and supporting them on Saturday.
How do you, Matty, approach having those two in the squad? Because making that step up to first team it might sound easier than it really is, but there's so much different pressure on you. Is it going to be a case of just pulling them aside at the start, midway through warm up, and just letting them know, talking to them, letting them know how they're feeling, maybe take them off the pitch at times just to chat through things? Because I guess it is a really good learning opportunity for both of them.
Yeah, it is. And as I said, they've been asking all the right kind of questions. They've been doing the right things. So we don't just give up any kind of numbers or players or any kind of games. The guys have to earn it. And these guys have shown over the last kind of 4 to 6 months with their training abilities and their willingness to learn, that they've really earned this kind of opportunity. And to get this opportunity at home is obviously fantastic. Yes, obviously there'll definitely be nerves, but we've got enough kind of leaders in the right kind of positions with obviously Drew and Sam, myself with Will, and then we've got kind of like Pat and Raddy with Boise in the backs. So we've got the right kind of mixture, as you say, of leaders and obviously youth. And I think everyone will be up and willing for the chance to work with the lads and hopefully get their first win and their first team performance.
And just finally, Matty, this weekend is a little bit special at the club because we have all 3 senior teams at home, something that doesn't happen very often, but we've got all 3 teams there. It's going to be a busy day, but what a day that could be if all teams can pick up a win.
Yeah, it's fantastic. As you said, it doesn't really happen at all. So obviously it didn't go to plan kind of last week where all 3 teams lost to Moulton. So we'll all be looking to obviously work that kind of a little bit harder and make sure that we rectify all those kind of wrongs of the last weekend and come away with 3 home wins. And to do that at home in front of our home crowd and our families would be fantastic for us as a club and us as players, and then to also kind of support each other and have a couple of beers afterwards is absolutely great, and it'd be like the old days of old.